Hi, it's Joe Roseman with Process Triage. I want to spend a couple of minutes um, explaining how to read these really information-rich process triage map or process triage case studies. When you look at a case study, you'll see it's a long sheet of paper, or it's either a PDF or a piece of paper. But very quickly, if you look on the left side, you'll see what looks like a spreadsheet. That's nothing but a table of proposed improvements. Recall we're triaging the process to determine where is it not, um, where does it need to improve in very specific areas and very specific ways based on the subject matter expert's view of what's inhibiting its best behavior. Anyway, so the whole point of the triage is this table of improvements. We'll talk more about those in a minute. Next to that, you'll see what looks like a little box with colored layers in it. This is called the profile box. The profile box tells you what to expect coming out of the triage in terms of what it's going to take to reach or implement the capability goals. We'll talk more about that in a minute. The next couple of boxes will be a goal statement that says how well this process over here on the right, how well it should behave. And then underneath that will be a symbol key box to explain how to read, how to locate points of pain, and where these remedies, these proposals, where are they mapped to, where do they actually occur in the map? And of course, to the right is obviously a process map. It's done in what's called action result style, and we'll talk about that. So again, that's what we're going to walk through. They're again, I said, very information rich. All of the information that you see on these map sheets are typically gathered in one day on a full day triage workshop. And it takes a couple of days to process all that raw information into the product that you see here in the case study. So I've pulled up a simple process, what's called a service desk process. Could be a help desk, could be customer care, but it's basically consists of tier one resolutions. Let me zoom in a little bit. Right, tier one resolutions, and then if they need help, they'll escalate to tier two. In this particular company's language, that was called tasking. Okay, so they would task a ticket into the tier two. Okay, of course, it looks pretty messy, right? All these um, triangles and little squares and stuff. And I'll explain that in a minute. But you get the idea. Um, the team triaged all these points of pain into, it looks like what, 22 capability improving proposals. And here's the list of them, like design and implement a fast high priority ticket detection, design and implement a self-service portal. Get the idea. Now you'll see the effort, the size of the effort is going to be small now or big now. Smalls are to-dos, action items, one or two people get it done size efforts. Bigs are going to be projects. If you're running on EOS, it's going to be a rock size effort, okay? And then there are four types. We triage these solutions into these proposals. There are solutions in one of four types: analyze, design, train, or enforce. And you see this language here in the color code. Okay, I'm going to take just a minute and explain how the triaging protocol works. Okay, so here's triaging on a napkin. We've got a process up here. It starts its cycle, and it encounters typically siloed work. There's a handoff, or there's a wait space, and there's some work done. They hand off in a wait space, and you get the idea. Eventually, you have final results, and the cycle stops. Well, as this process cycling, stuff happens. Some of it's noise, and some of it's true pain that matters, right? That inhibits a goal. Okay. Well, all of these anomalies, these frustrations, these events, they get sorted by a process capability goal, and they all get filtered where we'll actually triage all these events that inhibit the goal. And so they come into the top of the funnel here, and they will get issue processed into one of these four types of issue or solutions. And then finally, at the end, right, this is the triaging that sets the ranking. The implementer would then go ahead and start working these things. But the triage converts these pain points into action items and projects. Projects where the green triangles and action items are the yellow, and the sequence is determined by the triaging team. Okay, so that's triaging in a nutshell. Now, the actual protocol, the actual triaging steps are: we begin with a point of pain, which is something that's recurring, that's inhibiting the goal. In this case, orders are missing 25% of inspection sheet items 85% of the time. So that's the point of pain. The team will talk about that nominated pain point, and they'll determine, hey, do we agree that prohibits the objective or inhibits the objective? And if it passes that relevance test, then it will be triage. And the first question is, do we know the root cause of this recurring behavior? And if the answer is not enough, then we'll categorize the solution, not solve anything, but simply categorize the solution into what's called an analyze solution, and then we'll come down and then size its level of effort, small or big, right? Action out of a project, or in EOS language, to do a rock. However, if they say, oh, no, we know the root cause enough, right? Then do we have a best practice? That if we followed the best practice, this wouldn't happen. And if the answer is no, not enough, then we'd categorize a solution as a design, train, enforce a human procedure, or design and implement a tool or technology, then come down and size it, small or big, and then we'd document on the card. If no, we got a best practice, the question is, does it need training? And if it is, it'd say, okay, train it and enforce it. And then that level of effort would be small or big. And if it's no, we don't even need to train it, we would just enforce it. Now, what we mean by enforce here is not blunt force trauma supervision. What we're saying is it's not a process design problem. We have a best practice, right? It should be scalable if we'll let our operating system handle it. So that's the triaging protocol. Now, you notice this card here. The team actually captures this information on a smart card. And then after they triage all of those points of pain, they'll then lay these cards on the table, and they'll lay them out on a table and sort them. Which of these proposals will deliver the most capability? What you see here, okay? And this is where the list comes from. The names of each of these proposals then become the list, which is what we're looking at here, okay? So that's the list, and they are of those 4 types. So that's how you read it. That's basically the table of improvements, and that's the whole point of the triage. Now remember, the executive suite wants the whole list worked. They don't particularly care about any one of them. They want them all worked, refresh the list, and work that list, and so forth, and simply create a continuous improvement capability. However, the manager, who has to deal with the resource issues and constraints, they may say, yeah, we're going to do this one, this is a work in process, but we're going to not yet some of these because we can't get to them yet. Okay, so that's basically the output, the practical, tactical value of the workshop. Now, all of these come out of those experts. They're all bottoms up. They're the experts in the process. So it's all terrific stuff. This is issue processing taken out of the executive suite and placed into the hands of those who know the process. Okay, so then we look at that entire list. Say, okay, well, what's it really saying in the grand scheme of things? What you see here is, of course, how many analyzes, how many designs, how many trains, how many enforces, and are they small or big? Are they action items or projects? And this gives you an idea. This is basically 100% of the proposals, right? And in this case, 14% are just enforced, 23% are trained. So that's what, 37%? Yeah. So basically, a little more than 1/3 of all their proposals we have a best practice. We just need to make it happen. And because most of them are small, right, action items, it means you ought to get some pretty good traction out of this thing coming out of the triage. However, look at this. This is what, 63%? A lot of what, 36%? 1/3 of them, they didn't know the root cause, which means they have to go figure out what's really the cause before they can figure out what the best practice is. And the other was 27%, 1 in 4 was we need to go figure out the best practice. So one of the things you take away from this particular, like an X-ray, right, is, hey, this process is not scalable, and add them up, 3 in all of the places that these proposals impact is you can't scale this process. You can't grow it. You got to fix the best practices, or you'll create crap faster. Okay. So that's the value of this triaging is, okay, not only do they get a list of terrific bottoms-up proposals, but what's the next 90 days look like, and how patient should I be? In this case, you're going to have to be quite patient because the team's got to figure out its best practices. Okay. So moving to the right then, okay, then the capability goal, right, which is what we triage against, is make this process sustain the following behavior. And you'll see this one, like in this little help desk, they wanted a 90% first contact resolution. They want to be able to do 5,000 tickets a month. All right, so it gives you an idea of scale, size. These process capability goals typically have a speed dimension, a volume dimension, a quality dimension, sometimes a cost dimension. But the whole idea is, in very measurable terms, what's this thing got to do? Right? And points of pain, then, these recurring behaviors or events that are inhibiting this goal are going to be represented by a pink square with a call out to explain it, like you see here. Let's take this one in the attempt resolution task. That's what these are. 15% long delay from task close to user notification. So that's what's happening here. Okay, and it looks like if you look at the triangles here, a green triangle is a big or a project size fix, and the number inside is its ranking from the capability ranking here, okay, from the capability impact, all right? So for example, if you look at the number 1 capability impacting improvement, let's kind of zoom in here, is it's an action item, right? Small now, it's a design and implement a fast, high priority ticket detection, and it really matters. It's great cash value, and but it delivers the most capability for the process. So if we slide down into the process, we see that it's right here in that after the tier 2s get tasked, they acknowledge that, yeah, we got the assignment. What's the right method for this kind of ticket? Right there. That's where this improvement's going to affect, is that task, which happens to be, you notice, kind of a dumpster fire, right? What, 7, 6, what looks like 6, yeah, 6, at least 6 points of pain. Get the idea? So that's how you read these things. Okay. The actual mapping style is easy to read. It's basically circles or physical things, like a ticket's created. That's a green trigger, right? That's email or through a portal. Of course, that ticket goes right into classification. Whereas if someone calls in manually, you have to create the ticket in the help desk, then classify it, determine its issue, its resolution method, attempt a resolution, and confirm it if you did. And right, you always confirm your request confirmation after your attempt, and then if they say, yeah, it's resolved, then if it's not resolved, you go back and reattempt, or you confirm. Okay. If assistance is required, you kick up to it. You open up a task and assign it, and kick it over to tier 2. They of course have an echo of that. Now these little A, B, C's, D's, and E's, these are called cutouts, right? The A, B cutout is, hey, you need to request information to somebody. So you could request more information here at the determine the resolution method, or while you're attempting here, or over here. The E cutout is report progress. So it's possible that you need to, hey, tell people how things are going. Get the idea? Very easy, simple, very fast mapping technique. Okay. Now again, I want to stress that all of the information, right, in the case study was all the raw data was created in one day by one team, and it typically takes a couple of days to process that information into all that data into the information you see here. So that's how you read a case study. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call or text me, Joe Rosenberger. 913-269-3410 or rosie@processtriage.com. We obviously welcome a chat. Thank you.